Melina, this is going to be something a bit different for Matt Zena Acting Tips, because actually it's going to be an interview. And I haven't done one of these in a long, long time. But you've inspired me, and I'll tell you why you've inspired me, all right? This is a strange one, but you got to the stage that all actors got to, okay? Where it was like, right, I am putting in so much energy, so much effort, and I just don't feel like I'm getting anywhere. And I could feel how you felt. I could feel the frustration. And you made a wonderful, wonderful decision. And that was to keep going. And this month, and the reason why I want to do this interview to inspire other actors that are probably feeling the same way, is I want to talk about the amazing success that you've had this month. And it has been success. It really, really has. And how just from keeping going, it's made such a difference, and how you felt during that particular time. And then we'll talk about the success you've had. And then I'm going to give really some value on the psychology behind it, and something that I call latency and latent potential, and how it actually works. I suppose it's from a physics standpoint as well, latent potential. You know all about that. You're much more clever than me, Melina. So go on, tell me about it. How did you feel, and how did it come about, and how was it building up?
I think it was frustration. I think, you get that frustration where you're doing all this work and you feel like, right, I'm not getting anywhere. You just feel like there's blocks in the road, and you can't smash your way through blocks. And I'm used to kind of smashing my way through them or going around them. And I wasn't doing that. And it was like a big, huge kind of wobble. And it's just not me. And I'm not used to, I don't quit, but I was on that verge, and I don't quit. I don't quit anything, because I think it's very much like, well, I think maybe I was thinking, oh, I'm failing here, and I don't want to fail. I want to, and I thought, well, no, I'm going. It was just like, okay, get rid of that wobble. It's a big one, and let's just go. I'm doing all this work,
And you did.
And I know that I can do it. But it's not about. Here's the thing, and I thought about this. I thought about this, Matt. It's not about I can and what I can do and what I can't do. I really don't like those kind of phrases. Is what I want to do, and this is what I want to do. And because it's what I want to do, is what I'm passionate about, and I'm passionate about a lot of different things, I have to keep going.
So it wasn't really a choice. Even
No,
though you
it's
got
not a choice.
frustrated and upset, it wasn't actually a choice in the end.
No, because this is home for me. This is like, I've got my home with my family, but this is home for me with what I want to do. And that's why it's like, no, I've got to keep going. This is what I'm passionate about. It's what I love doing.
Do you know what, though? I have read so many autobiographies of really successful people, because I think it's a really good way if you could start to see patterns evolve. And there is, from reading so many and speaking directly to successful people, there is a pattern that's evolved from really studying successful people. It doesn't matter. By the way, this doesn't matter whether it's actors or any field. There's always been, in any autobiography you'll ever read, in any conversation you ever have with somebody who's been incredibly successful, the pattern that evolves is that there's struggle, and there's periods of not really feeling like they're getting anywhere. And then, what I'll come on to explain in a bit, there's this latency, this energy that builds up that makes them feel frustrated, anxious. And then there's a decision to be made. And it's always just after that decision. Now, the majority of people fall away and give up, because it's not a nice feeling that anxious and frustrated. And people can't deal with it. And the majority of people, and the reason why there's so many frustrated people out there that don't achieve what they think they can achieve, is because at that point where it feels like one can't cope anymore with the frustration and anxiety that it comes with, they back off and they actually make the other decision. And what I've seen from every successful person in autobiography is that they made the decision that you made, which is, look, I'm in this and I'm going to keep going. And it's on the other side of that decision. And it's honestly, it's like a trope. It's in every single conversation. Is the other side of that decision is actually the success that they were looking for, or particularly the beginnings of that success they were looking for. And that's what I feel that you went through. And that's why I'm doing this interview, because I think that it's important for, and particularly for people's mindset and for their to inspire them. I think it's really important message. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it is important. And I think it's also important to remember about the process as well, from the auditions to recalls. And when you get onto set as well, it's all about the process and loving every part of it. I love every part of it. And
Brilliant. Love that.
because I think maybe for some people it is about kind of like maybe seeing themselves on TV, but I actually love every part of the process. I love doing the audition part, because it's like, right now I'm starting this process. I've got the script in hand, I'm doing something. And then it's like, okay, I had the recall, I'm actually doing something really positive. And this is where all the frustration goes, because it's now I'm in a process, I'm actually learning something, I'm actually doing what I want to do, and this is what I'm passionate about. And I think that as I said, when I did the short film the other day, I've done the audition and then I did the process and I went through all of that. We did the rehearsal. All of it's a process, and everything should be taken in bit by bit and learning through it. And you kind of got to realize, and that for me is as I said, this is what I'm passionate about, and this is home. And that's why for me the decision I made was that I don't want to let it go. I want to keep going, because all of it from auditions right the way through, that's what it's about.
I love that. And I love the idea of, because I always think of, and I mean, there's so much going around at the minute where, actors seem to think that they're a class apart and they don't kind of compare themselves to other businesses, like a window cleaner, for instance, who has a window cleaning business, right? Now, the window cleaner, in order to get jobs, has to go around knocking on doors, speaking to people, handing out leaflets. And then maybe they get paid to clean people's windows, right? And it's no different from being an actor. But I think that a window cleaner has to enjoy going around and speaking to people and handing out leaflets and networking and doing all of that. Whereas some actors, from what I'm finding, are saying, we shouldn't have to do self-tapes. We shouldn't have to do this. And I'm thinking...
But it's part of the learning process, and it's part of the whole process. And you're not learning.
And like you said, you've got to enjoy it.
You have to enjoy.
That's your job. That's your job.
Well, you have to, and you don't learn anything by not doing it. And you're not going to improve upon yourself if you don't do them. And everything that you do is you're improving bit by bit. I've always said, the one thing I always said is that I wanted more auditions. The more auditions you get, the more chance you're going to improve upon yourself, and you're going to do things differently maybe the next time. And okay, I can learn from that and change this and change that. So the more auditions you get, the better it is for yourself. So instead of kind of going, I don't want to do that, I want to go straight to that. No, the more auditions you get, the more chances you've got to improve every single time. So you and enjoy it, enjoy doing it. I actually really enjoy doing them, because you've got the script in front of you and you get to play around with it, and that's what it should be about, and you should be enjoying every moment of it. But it's
So
also the
March and
path.
April has been
Yeah.
your month. Like, it's been brilliant. So let's go through it. So you're currently on iTunes, iTunes. That's Apple. You're currently on iPlayer. In what you thought would be a small part, but they've just heavily featured you in it, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
You basically are in the mix at the minute. You're recalled, and for, can't say much, or obviously NDA, all of that type of stuff, but for a really, really exciting 6-part drama. You really feel like you're being taken seriously now, which is amazing, and that's how it should be. It really, really should. You are that good. Short film where you effectively blew them away on set and in the audition. So really, this has been your month, and we are starting to peer over the other side of that decision that you made to keep going. And it just feels like now the snowball has gone over the edge of the cliff. I always use that analogy. How do you feel at the minute with the success and looking at the other side of the cliff and throwing the snowball down? How do you feel right now?
Excited. I'm really excited and I'm exhilarated because it's like I can see now my path, my yellow brick road. That's what I can see. You know, Dorothy in Wheels on in Heels. That's what I can see on my yellow brick road, and I can see that path kind of opening up for me. So yeah, my yellow brick road is going to the Emerald City, and it's opening up more opportunities for me. So, and that's what I wanted. That's what I'm having. So it's not about what I want, it's what I'm having and what I'm going to have. So, so yeah, I'm really excited about what's happening for the future, and it's about keeping on that yellow brick road and staying there. And
you are absolutely amazing. You really are. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain now.
And I have my sparkly red boots.
Yes, you do. So basically, it's latent potential, right? And I've always seen this happen. I've seen it with me as well, right? It's a Newton's law. Every action has an equal or opposite reaction. Okay. Now, all of your actions is basically energy that you put towards something. Now, when an ice cube melts, everybody seems to think that you've got an ice cube, you put a hairdryer on it, and you think it just slowly melts away really evenly. Okay. So you're adding energy to it, you're adding action to it, but it actually doesn't actually melt away slowly. What you actually find is it takes on all that energy, that latent energy, and it gets to like, sorry, is this going to melt? Is this going to melt? And then what happens? What does it do? It just goes whoosh, all at once. And they call that latent potential energy. Now that actually works with goals that we have, targets that we want, things that we want to achieve. I always use the ice cube. And what I feel has been happening with you is you've built up all this latent energy potential. You've thrown lots and lots of actions, and it's basically stored energy. Now, when you store that energy and when you store all of those actions that you've made, because remember, every action has an equal opposite reaction, what actually happens is that actually seems to store itself within you as kind of like frustration, energy, anxiety, even emotion. And that stored latent energy for most people is something that they just cannot cope with. Like literally, physically and emotionally, they cannot cope with it or deal with it. And that's when we get the quitters, the ones that quit. Now, the worst thing is that the pattern actually evolves is that moment when they quit is the moment just before the ice cube just goes like that. It's when they have maximum latent potential. It's when they have literally added so much energy and so much action to the goal that they want to achieve. but it actually maximizes in you, and most people just quit and walk away. And I know when I watched that, and when I was watching you the other, I was like, please make the right decision, because I've got a feeling that this is just latent potential and it's going to happen. And the reason why we're even having this conversation is because for once in my life, no. All right. I was right.
But I also think as well, Matt.
I want you to agree with. So agree.
Yeah, I am
with
agreeing with you. I am agreeing with you.
No, and then go. But I also think. Go,
Matt,
yes,
I
you're
agree
right,
with
Matt.
you. I agree
like
with you.
wife.
But I also think it's not just down to you as an individual. It's also down to the fact that it's the support network around you.
100%.
You can't do it on your own. You have, nobody does it on their own. I hate it when people say, you do it, I did it on my own. Nobody does it on their own. There's always people there to help and guide you along the way. And, you know, and you should never forget that. That's you, that's my husband, that's my boys, and that's everybody in the academy, and that's people around you, from casting directors to people who you've worked with on the short film and people you've met that you've worked with. Everybody's there to support you. They're all on your side. So to me, when you start meeting these people and so forth, everybody's there to help you one way or another. So you know, nobody's there to kind of say, just go away. They are trying to help you. Everybody's trying to help you to get you where you want to be and where you want to go. So for me, it's very much like, if you're willing to put the work in and put the effort in, which is, you know, it will come, and everybody's trying to help you get there as well as. So you can't do it on your own. You have to have that network around you. You have to have that support around you, and don't forget that.
Amazing. And yeah, I just want to say well done. You've done absolutely amazing. And like I say, it's just about maximizing on everything that we've done right in order to create and keep on this trajectory. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. And yeah, we'll get you on again. But thank you so much. And well done. Okay. And this is strange, because we're also ending this episode, I suppose, but we're also ending our call as well. But stay in touch. Give me an update on the things that we discussed before. So by about Friday next week, give me a quick WhatsApp. And yeah, good luck and keep going. Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.